Hi, I'm Ezra Thompson, a 31-year-old man. My wife Olivia, 27 female, and I just tied the knot, and we're currently on our honeymoon. We decided on Colorado for our getaway, staying at this beautiful resort. Olivia and I met 2 years ago at a charity event hosted by my company. She was a kind, genuine, and fascinating woman I have ever met. We hit it off immediately, and it wasn't long before we were inseparable. Our relationship blossomed quickly, and I knew she was the one I wanted to spend my life with. The moment we arrived, we were captivated by the stunning natural scenery, the towering mountains, the crisp air. It was breathtaking. Our first day here was perfect. Olivia and I explored the area, taking in the majestic mountain views and soaking up the tranquility. We couldn't have asked for a better start to our honeymoon. The next day, we headed to the resort bar. As we sat there, a beautiful bartender greeted us and took our order. "Good evening and welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. My name is Sophie, and I'll be your bartender tonight. Are you ready to indulge in some of our finest cocktails and wines or something non-alcoholic? Feel free to take a seat wherever you'd like, and I'll be right with you to take your order." We gave orders and brought our drinks. We settled into the seating area, enjoying our drinks. At one point, Olivia excused herself to use the restroom. While she was away, the bartender approached me with a tray to collect our glasses. "Do you need anything else, sir?" "Not right now, thanks." Suddenly, the tray slipped from her hand, but I managed to catch it before it hit the ground. As she regained her composure, she discreetly slipped a tissue into my hand before returning to the bar. Curious, I unfolded the tissue and read the message, "Meet me here at 2 a.m. I looked up to see her watching me, a mischievous smile playing on her lips before she disappeared behind the bar into the wine cellar. Her boldness left me stunned. I quickly put the note in my pocket as Olivia returned. I don't understand the bartender's intention. Was she hitting on me? I didn't dwell on it too much and continued enjoying the evening with my wife. However, later that night, I woke up abruptly to find myself alone in bed. Frowning, I assumed Olivia had stepped out of the bathroom. I called out, knocking lightly on the bathroom door. "Olivia?" But she didn't respond. I opened the bathroom door, but she wasn't there. I thought maybe she didn't want to disturb me, but where could she go at this time? I left the room and went to look for her as her phone was in the room. While I was going down in the elevator, I saw my wife leaving the resort. I had to wait until the elevator reached the ground floor. As the elevator door opened, I looked around for Olivia but didn't see her. Stepping out of the resort, I saw her vanish into the darkness. It was weird seeing her out so late without a word, especially since she had left her phone in the room. I followed her quietly, feeling worried and confused. What happened next shocked me. In the dim light, I saw Olivia hugging and kissing a guy wearing a black hoodie. I tried to confront them, but I froze when I heard Olivia laughing. I couldn't make out who the man was in the dark and fog. If I ran towards them, he would have had enough distance to escape before I could reach them, and the thick fog wasn't helping either. I can't believe he brought me that. Really? He is so stupid. Seeing her with another man on our honeymoon was a gut-wrenching blow. I couldn't believe my eyes. The woman I loved so much was cheating on me as if I didn't know her all the time. They were talking, and even though they were far away, I could still hear them. I needed to know what was going on before confronting Olivia. I retreated before they saw me. Back in our room, I saw her phone on the nightstand. If there was something incriminating, she wouldn't have left it carelessly, but I checked it anyway. It was unlocked, and while I didn't find anything blatant, there were no messages, but the number was in the chat, which meant she had deleted the messages. I decided to save the number in my phone, hoping it might reveal some clues. Later, I used an app to check whose number it was. The app didn't provide an immediate match, but it flagged the number as suspicious. I pretended to be asleep as Olivia came back. Then it hit me, maybe the note from the bartender meant more than I thought. Perhaps she saw something concerning about Olivia and wanted to tell me. With so many questions, I knew I had to find out the truth before talking to Olivia. I waited until I was sure Olivia was asleep, and then I slipped out of our room and made my way back to the wine cellar as the bartender had instructed. Arriving early, I found the bar deserted. Only the dim glow of the lights in the wine cellar beckoned me forward. As I stepped inside, a girl's voice greeted me. "I thought you wouldn't show," she said with a sly smile playing on her lips, as though she found amusement in my predicament. I brushed off her remark. At that moment, my priority was getting answers. "You wanted to see me. Here I am." She lounged back, putting her legs up on the table as she sat in the chair. You saw it, didn't you? What are you referring to? Playing coy, huh? You want me to spell it out for you? Your wife on your honeymoon cozying up to. Get to the point. Mr. Thompson, where you were standing, if you had taken a few more steps, you would have seen the face you're itching to smack right now. I was fully engaged now. She knew exactly what I was desperate to uncover. Even though I tried to mask my desperation, she had seen through it from the start. I couldn't help but notice the intrigue in her eyes. It was as if she had found her prey, and at that moment she was toying with me. And you know who that was. So what do you want? I assume you're expecting something in return. She responded with a knowing smile, clearly anticipating my question. Reluctantly, she lowered her legs and straightened up in her seat. Mr. Thompson, you certainly don't waste any time getting down to business, do you? I like that about you. I raised an eyebrow in response, curious about her intentions. She chuckled softly before continuing. Someone close to you not only wants your wife but also everything you have. Does that ring any bells? No one came to my mind. I racked my brain, but nothing surfaced. And how do you know about this person? How do you know about me? I doubt you just stumbled upon this information today and decided to approach me. Did you? Again, she flashed her sly smile, but it no longer fazed me. That was just her demeanor, I figured. She selected a wine from the cellar and offered to pour me a glass. I think you need a drink. May I? I took a seat on the stool and nodded. As she poured the wine, I couldn't help but notice the anticipation in her body language. She wasn't in a rush, almost as if she had known about all of this for a while. At that moment, impatience crept over me, but I knew I had to endure her for now. I took the bottle from her hands and poured another glass for her. Well, aren't you a gentleman? She accepted the glass with a nod of thanks. Let's get to the point now. You tell me everything you know, and I will give you what you want. So what do you say? She leaned in close, her breath warm against my ear. I like it that way, but... Her voice trailed off, and she paused for a moment before continuing. It's not money that I want. Pulling back, she met my gaze, her eyes intense, and I felt a bit confused by her words. So what do you want then? Will you promise to give it to me? You're the only one who could give me that. You see, I've been trying to reach you for a while. I wanted to warn you before your wedding, but I couldn't get through. Her words sent a chill down my spine, raising concerns. Was she following me all this time? Is she some kind of? Seeing the doubt in my eyes, she quickly clarified. Oh wait, it's not what you're thinking. I'm not a stalker or something. I looked at her, uncertain whether to trust her or not. But if I've committed to marrying someone, I reasoned, then I should at least give her a chance. I don't trust you, but I'm willing to take a chance on you. Fair enough. It's someone who knows you really well. He's part of your family and your business, your life, practically everything. This person has an inferiority complex. He thinks he could do better if he were in your shoes. He's always around you, watching your every move. Her words cut through the fog in my mind, and suddenly everything became clear. I could see that person clearly, my cousin Owen, 29 male. He's always had this inferiority complex. Despite being family, his constant need to compete and overshadow me was evident. I had never addressed it before, dismissing him as unworthy of my attention. Now, it all makes sense. Owen is my dad's brother's son. Since childhood, there was an undeclared competition between us, a rivalry he seemed to thrive on. I never entertained his antics, but his desire to outdo me only grew over time. Our family often compared him to me, which I admit could make anyone jealous and resentful. Sophie told me that she works in our business. At first, she thought Owen was genuinely interested in her. He even promised that he wanted to be with her and all. He always got her to do his work, frequently using her more and more to dig for information about me. He kept her close. After a while, when she asked him to move in with her, he humiliated her, saying he would never be serious about her, and left her, saying, "It's not like we were committed." This betrayal fueled her desire to expose him. Mr. Thompson, I really didn't want to get involved, but I was the one who gave Owen your information. About a year ago, he was seeing me on and off. When I realized he was using me to dig up info on you and our business, I confronted him. He humiliated me. I could never forgive him for that. I wanted to expose him. Sophie, do you have any evidence that he used you to get that info? Of course, without it, I wouldn't have come to you. I need to know more before I confront him and Olivia. Your new wife? She's an old girlfriend of Owen's. He was the mastermind behind it. She met you around 2 years ago, right? Go on. Remember when you were working on that major project, leading the big deal? I was serving your team back then. I saw Olivia with Owen plenty of times. He said she was just a friend, but I knew better. It was a lot to take in. Sophie promised to provide the evidence she collected at Owen's demand about me. We decided to meet after I returned from the honeymoon. I went back to Olivia, who was still sleeping, feeling a mix of disgust and betrayal after what I had seen. The next morning, I canceled our plans and told Olivia that I needed to return home immediately for something urgent. Her reaction was unexpected. Honey, the manager said you canceled today's plans. What's going on? She saw me packing as she came back from reception. Yeah, I need to go back immediately. Something urgent came up. I'm sorry. Ezra, how could you cancel everything? This is our honeymoon. I promise we'll come back, but I need to handle this now. Later? But then we can't do the things we planned. It's our honeymoon. Her reaction seemed natural, but when I paid closer attention, it felt like she was trying too hard to make me stay, almost as if she knew I needed to leave and was trying to prevent it. If you don't want to miss anything, you can stay here without me. What will I do here alone? Reluctantly, she packed her bags in a bad mood, and we headed back home. As we returned, Olivia was upset the whole time. When we finally reached home, I saw Jason, my other cousin, waiting for me as if he knew I was coming. I hadn't told anyone. Hey Ezra, Olivia, you guys come back early? I took him aside while Olivia went into the house. Jason is not only my cousin but also my closest friend and biggest supporter. What are you doing here? I needed to know where you were. You weren't picking up the calls, so I came by. But it looks like you're already back. What's this about? Owen is leading the upcoming project while you're away on your honeymoon. Did he talk to you about that? Seeing that I'm not surprised, Jason shows his concern. Is something wrong? Why did you come back so soon? Get in the car, I'll tell you. I told Jason to drive, and we went to our usual spot where no one could disturb us. So what's this about? Owen unnecessarily took your project without asking, and then you came back without telling anyone. Something's going on, tell me. I told Jason what happened, and he was genuinely mad. Why didn't you confront him then and there? So he could run away. I had no proof, and the fog was too thick. Damn it! After a moment, he asked, and what about that girl? She said she would provide the evidence. Do you trust her? She used to work for us, I can't believe it. Not really, but if she can provide the evidence, that's all that matters. I'll look into her records. Let's see. In the evening, Jason and I met Sophie again. I was about to introduce Jason, but... Sophie, this is your cousin Jason, more like your best friend. I know. Jason and I exchanged a look. I wasn't expecting that, but she knew a lot about me. She gave me everything she handed over to Owen, and it was way more than I expected, like, seriously creepy. Every little thing I did, everywhere I went, even who I talked to, it was all laid out in those emails with exact dates and times. Seeing me freaked out, she tried to calm me down, but no dice. I was seriously worried. I mean, if I were you, I would feel the same. You said you weren't a stalker, but this is some next-level stuff. If this ain't stalking, then what is it? It's not like I was obsessed with you. Plus, there was a reason for Owen to use me. She had this smirk on her face that annoyed both me and Jason, though I'd learned to expect it. It was more like spying, a misguided attempt to help. But seriously, isn't this enough proof for you? Not quite. It just shows you and Owen were snooping on Ezra, but there's no hard evidence against Olivia. Exactly. Can you confirm if that dude that night was Owen, or do you have anything else? Jason and I weren't expecting much, but Sophie surprised us. You bet I do. Slapping an envelope on the table, I opened it to find pics of Owen getting out of a car at the same resort where I was honeymooning, plus some shots of him and Olivia together. Jason peeked at them before I handed them over. His face is blurry in these? Even if you can't see his face clearly, I know for sure it's Owen. I've seen them together. So Olivia's been seeing Owen since she started dating Ezra? Nope, she had been seeing him since their graduation, years before she met Ezra. So you have all the proof of their affair, don't you? Hold your horses, Mr. Thompson. Before I hand it over, I need to know what's in it for me. I told you, you'll get your payback. I want to blow Owen's cover, big time. Only then will I give you the goods. Jason looked at the phone and showed it to me. And we have an opportunity coming up. I think luck is on our side this time. It was the year-end party for our family, an event all the family members attended every year. The party was hosted by my grandfather Jamie. This year, the event was especially important because of my marriage, but before that, I needed to prepare the divorce papers. Are you going to expose them in front of everyone? Not just family members, but everyone. There will be all the people from our field. Are you sure about that? I hope you won't change your mind at the last moment, Mr. Thompson. I want to see that myself. Me too, Sophie. I'll need you during my divorce. See you then. I'll meet you at the party. Jason will provide you with the entry. Until the party, I can't let Owen know about this. To ensure he doesn't get suspicious, I pretend to make up with Olivia. Over the next few days, I played my part, acting as if everything was fine between Olivia and me. I pretended to be oblivious to her affair, making sure to keep our interactions light and routine. Olivia seemed relieved, thinking our honeymoon's abrupt end was just a temporary hiccup. Even though Owen was keeping tabs on me through Olivia, I couldn't be reckless at this point because I never knew who else might be following me. Jason found a divorce lawyer for me, and we decided to meet in a more discreet location to avoid suspicion. Ezra, look, there he is, the one I talked about. I wasn't expecting to meet my divorce lawyer in such an exclusive setting, a private sauna with sleek wooden interiors and humid air. The lawyer was reclining comfortably, a hand towel on his face, looking completely at ease, enjoying the sauna. Jason, are you sure? If you want the best lawyer with no heads up to Owen, he's perfect. Don't be fooled by his relaxed demeanor, he's won every case he's taken. And did you know he went to the same high school as me? Really? I approached the lounging area and sat beside him. The lawyer pulled down the towel from his face and looked up. You must be Ezra. Jason's told me a lot about you. Don't worry, I'm more than capable of handling this discreetly. I hope so. We can't afford any slip-ups. Relax. This isn't my first rodeo. We'll get everything sorted out without raising any suspicions. We continued discussing the details in private. I had booked the sauna for this time. The lawyer's cunning and the exclusive setting of the private sauna was perfect for keeping things under the radar. Mr. Thompson, we have evidence, a prenup, and a witness. No one can stop you now. Thanks for meeting me like this. Let's make sure we nail this. You got it. We'll get everything ready for the next step. Once we got back, I needed to make sure everything was going according to plan. A few days later, Sophie sent me all the chat messages she found on my wife's phone to that unknown number. It was indeed Owen. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. My wife, feeling proud of herself for handling the event planning with my grandpa Jamie, had no idea what was coming. As the days passed, the tension built. My wife was busy with the year-end party, which was a significant event for our family. My grandfather Jamie always hosted it, and this year it was even more important because of our recent marriage. Little did she know, it would also mark the end of it. The day of the year-end party finally arrived, and the grand hall of my grandfather's estate was filled with family members, business associates, and close friends. The air was thick with anticipation, not just because of the event itself, but because of what was about to be revealed. My wife, Olivia, was radiant, mingling with guests and making sure everything was perfect. She had no idea that the night would end in disgrace for her and Owen. As the party progressed, I kept an eye on both Olivia and Owen. They were careful, acting as if nothing was amiss, but I knew better. My grandfather Jamie was in high spirits, greeting everyone and sharing stories from the past year. He stepped up to the microphone and started with his greetings. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. This year has been full of highs and lows, but tonight we celebrate family and truth. As you know, this year we welcome a new member to the family, Olivia. While my grandpa was giving his wonderful speech, I waited for my lawyer to deliver the divorce papers. In the right corner, I saw him, and I received the text that it was ready. As Grandpa Jamie finished, I took the microphone. Thank you, Grandpa. Now I have something important to share. Olivia, could you please join me on stage? Olivia looked surprised but smiled and came forward. I have a special gift for you. A waiter brings a gift box and puts it on the center table. Olivia looks surprised and excited. I hold her hand and nod towards the technician guy who I had told to plug in the USB to show my beloved wife's affair. As all of you know, Olivia and I recently got married, and this party was supposed to be a celebration of our new life together. Olivia, when I met you, you made me realize that you are the only one for me. I trusted you and truly loved you. Everyone there was saying AW and having teary emotional reactions. As I asked Olivia, please open your gift. As she opened the box and found a paper wrapped with a red ribbon, I subtly gestured to the technician standing nearby, indicating it was time to play the USB. Paper? Open it. As Olivia opened the papers, I looked at Owen, and he was looking at the screen. Olivia's smile turned pale, and meanwhile, in the background, all the pictures of her and Owen's affair after our marriage and during our dating phase were playing. As she heard the sound of people's shocked reactions, she turned back, and I saw Owen running towards me. Meanwhile, at the entrance, Owen's secretary noticed Sophie trying to enter the hall. She quickly moved to block her path. "You can't come in here." Sophie laughed in her face, showing her invitation. "I have an invitation." From the center stage, I could see Jason at the entrance. "What's going on here?" "This woman can't come in. She's with me." Jason took Sophie by the arm and led her onto the stage. As Olivia unfolded the papers, I glanced at Owen, who was fixated on the screen. Olivia's smile faded as she read the contents, while a slideshow of images depicting her and Owen's affair during our marriage and dating phase played in the background. The gasps and murmurs of shocked reactions filled the room. Olivia turned back, her expression shifting from shock to disbelief. Owen charged towards me, anger flashing in his eyes. He grabbed my collar, but I quickly dropped the mic and restrained his hands. His father intervened, pulling Owen away. "Ezra, this is all fake." Owen was trying to lung at me again, and Olivia's mother, Catherine, took the papers from her hand. "Ezra, what is this? Are you joking?" "Joking? Do you think this is a joke? Ask your daughter what this is." Olivia started acting like the most innocent person on earth. "Ezra, I don't know who made this up, but please believe me, this is not true. It's all edited." "Ezra, are you out of your mind? These are fake photographs. Why are you dragging me into this?" Gasps filled the room as everyone heard this. Then Sophie practically ran towards the stage. "It's my cue to enter. Go." Seeing her coming towards me, Owen recognized her immediately. "Did you say fake, Owen Thompson? Who let her enter?" "Security." "I did. Stay there, Owen. I hope I'm not late." "You are on time, Sophie." "Hi everyone, I am Sophie. I have something to say. You know this man, Owen Thompson? He hired me to spy on Ezra and gather information. I have all the proof you need." "You are a fraud. Ezra, you believe her? She is a professional stalker. People have filed cases against her. She is a liar." "You didn't say it back then, Owen." She rolls her eyes. "You think I haven't checked? Stop it, Owen. And Olivia, what do you say about this?" I nodded towards Sophie. She went to the projector and inserted her drive into the port. All the text messages that Olivia sent to Owen during our wedding and honeymoon were displayed on the screen, detailing my every move, my schedule, and my call history. "No, this is all fake. She is lying, Ezra. Please believe me." As the incriminating messages appeared on the screen, the room fell silent, everyone's eyes locked on the damning evidence. Olivia was crying and begging me to believe her. "Ezra, this is fake. How could you believe all this? I saw you, the night at the resort, meeting him. I saw it, Olivia. How could you do this? What nonsense. We have proof, Owen. Stop denying it." Jason showed the CCTV footage of the resort, clearly displaying Owen driving the car and getting out of it. Gasps and murmurs filled the room as the undeniable truth played out before everyone's eyes. Olivia's parents looked mortified, their faces etched with shock and disappointment. "Ezra, please, we can talk about this. This isn't what it looks like. I only want a divorce from you, Olivia." Olivia's plead continued, but I had already made up my mind. Owen's dad looked disappointed, yet his mother still took her innocent son's side. Some family members thought I did the right thing by exposing them, while others believed I shouldn't have exposed them like that and should have handled it in a more delicate way. The party ended on a bitter note, the joyous occasion tainted by the harsh reality of betrayal. Olivia had a lot to explain, but I didn't give her a chance. The guests, still in shock, started to leave, whispering amongst themselves about the scandal that had unfolded. After the party, I was consumed with the divorce process. It wasn't easy, as Olivia continued to plead not guilty and refused to admit to any wrongdoing. On the bright side, the court accepted the case based on her infidelity. However, the process took much longer than expected to finally secure a divorce from Olivia. As for Owen, you're probably wondering what happened to him. Well, I thought about hauling him into court for all the spying and hiring someone to follow me around, but then I figured, why bother? That'd just make me look like a jerk. So I let him off the hook, but I made sure he knew I could have gone that route if I wanted. His parents, though, they had to do something about it. They shipped him off to some other branch, far away from here. It's kind of like karma caught up with him, you know? After messing with my life, he ended up getting the boot and sent packing. Seemed like a fitting payback for all the trouble he caused.